Yo, we back on the engine with.
Victor Madu, CEO for the Leaux Clothing. I'm here on the engine. I really appreciate you guys for having me. So I'm ready to answer every question you have.
All right, so we back with mindset. We got a couple questions for Vic, just to see where his mindset is, just to see how the business side of things are in his mind.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what made you start for the Leaux?
I started for the Leaux my freshman year of college. I decided that being in such a tight-knit community that was surrounded by streetwear, different types of culture, a lot of different people, I feel like I had that eye for what people wanted, and I had that taste that was appropriate to provide to thousands of people. And I felt like it was just something I really had to capitalize on at the time.
All right, baby. So do you feel like the majority of people that showed you love at the beginning was like people that was around you, or like you just got like random love in this blue?
Initially starting up, everything is, it starts in the community. I had to communicate with a lot of different people that was literally in my general local area, get them to wear the clothes, get them to promote it on their social media pages. And I feel like that helped with the initial launch of the brand, and then actually bringing it to something that was eventually became worldwide.
All right, bet. So how do you feel, or what do you feel like was the biggest thing that got you to where you are right now?
The power of social media is highly underestimated. You could reach millions of people around the world literally off a 5-inch screen, and I feel like I've taken full advantage of that. Using my social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat was a big one when I first started, just to initially get that push and reach people that I couldn't physically reach in person, because I was doing a lot of hand-to-hand, in-person physical deliveries, and I can't really drive to India or drive to China to do deliveries, so social media definitely played a huge role.
True. What do you feel like was the biggest hurdle you had to cross though?
As far as hurdles, I really want to say getting like the documentation, getting your taxes, getting everything set as a legal entity. A lot of people kind of like skip those steps when they're starting, and then it comes back later and they really don't know what to do when it comes down to like getting your EIN numbers and getting your corporation and getting an LLC done. So it's kind of hard to like pay taxes and move as a legal business and the actual future.
All right. So, who do you feel like you could compare your brand to that's like already in this industry? Or do you feel like your brand is just like so far in its own realm?
As far as the industry right now, there's a lot of brands that I seek inspiration from. Ralph Lauren is one of them. There's so many brands, because like when I was growing up, I was rocking like Diamond Supply, Hundreds, Obey. And I feel like that type of thing, it had like a social status that like when you wore it, it's like, oh, he got on Diamond Supply, or oh, he got on Obey, So it's like, I want people to wear my stuff and not only feel like they're comfortable in wearing this on a day-to-day basis, but also feel like that social status and reputation also comes with that piece.
True, I feel you. So whenever you're rocking for the Leaux, you're supposed to feel like you in the Leaux type.
You feel like you're wearing something, something serious.
For sure. All right, bet. So what do you feel like is like the craziest thing that's happened to you, just for like in terms of like let you realize like, damn, like my brand is really going crazy like that?
There's been a lot of moments where I realized that my brand was a lot bigger than what I thought it was personally. I personally don't go out a lot, so I don't leave the house. But when I do, and I see my brand like random places like at the mall or at the gym, or people like posting content on social media from like all over the world, and I notice my brand, like they don't even really tag me, it's just like a part of their daily life, it makes me realize that this is something that's a lot bigger than just Houston, Texas.
Type shit. Like, how do you even handle all like the logistics of everything, like packaging and everything?
For the first 2 years, I was an engineering major at University of Texas, San Antonio, and I was physically packaging everything by myself. It was insane. I'll tell you, a lot of people ask me, Vic, how'd you do it? I wasn't sleeping, and that's just plain and simple. So during the day, I was, studying my books and going to class, and at night, as soon as it got dark, I'm folding packages, organizing hoodies, and taking care of customer service. But obviously, as scaling the business ended up happening, I had to, reach out to an agency that was going to handle my distribution, fulfillment, and customer service.
True. Customer service is big. All right, so what do you feel like you've gotten into now that the brand is stable and where it's at?
Definitely divided my income into a lot of different sources, sources of income that I had to really understand and explore, because everybody says it takes money to make money. And a lot of people, they want to start out with a lot of different sources of income and then figure out which one like kind of survives and becomes their main source. But I believe in mastering one thing and then using the mastery and the skills and applying them to several different other things. So I had to master for the low, obviously to get the capital to then jump into different sources of income. So I recently started exotic car rentals. We also do real estate, me and my team. We create guides teaching people how to trade stocks, financial literacy, and just brand consultation, marketing, and building their own brand. Hopefully they can become like a brand like my own.
Damn, that's what's up. So he's low-key giving a blueprint. So what's the name of your brand consulting company?
My brand consulting company is under For the Low. So it's just me that's providing the guides that people can go and buy online. It's a regular PDF. It kind of shows you from my experiences how to build a brand from A to Z.
So everybody can get at you on Instagram, right?
My Instagram is goat_Vic with 2 C's. It's gonna be somewhere on the screen.
All right, appreciate it, bro. Thank you for coming in, giving us your mindset, giving us a piece of how you do business and how you've made it this far. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me.
So, like, what made you come up with the name For the Low?
Wow. For the Low actually came from when I was in high school back in the day. I used to collect sneakers. I was a huge sneakerhead. To close the deal, like whenever I was selling shoes, I'd be like, yeah, I got it for the low. And people messed with it. They liked that, and they, kind of compelled them to purchase. So I felt like attaching that to my brand would compel people to purchase as well. But I did realize that Google wasn't messing with the LOW spelling. So LEAUX, exact same sound, and more of a unique taste. So top of the search engine. Exactly.
So who was like the first person that was like on the team?
The first person I added to the team was my manager. So he kind of handles like all the logistics, payouts, and just handling our distribution team, our fulfillment team, and making sure everybody's like squared away.
How many people do you feel like from like back in the day that you had to like cut out the process?
I started by myself, so I didn't really ever have to cut anybody off. I just added as the brand grew.
Sure. So added people that like made the most sense, that had the most contribution.
Exactly. Whatever value they brought, I figured out a way they could be a part of the brand, and I just added them in wherever they could fit in, and really work their magic. Definitely.
How do you feel like your parents feel about that?
Shit. To be honest, like I kept it under wraps for my parents for the first 3 years because I didn't want them to know. I didn't want them to tell me anything I didn't want to hear, especially while being in school. They're gonna tell you like, hey, you need to focus, like, don't be messing around with, nonsense, doing whatever. So I just didn't want to hear that. I knew where I was going. They didn't really have the mental space to understand it. So I wanted them to figure out on their own by the time it was whatever it was.
You have something that's complete to you.
Exactly. I didn't want to show them an idea. I want to show them something that was already built up and something that already had, something that was already valuable at the time. So I had to wait.
How do you feel like they feel about that now?
Now they don't care about nothing I do. So, like, when I told my dad I dropped out of school, he couldn't even say nothing. He was just like, all right. My mom, she's been supporting me from the jump, from the beginning. So I kind of communicate with her more. She's more lenient, more understanding. My dad is more like, all right, look, you need to go to school, you need to do this. My mom is just like, do what you're good at. So it was easy to relate and relay the message that I'm not trying to be in school anymore. And here we are.
All right, so what do you think is like the biggest piece of advice you can give to anybody that's trying to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, I could say a lot. To be honest, they say experience is the best teacher. But before you get into the water, I like to say that it's important to understand your audience, understand what you're creating, and understand what type of value you're gonna bring to these people. Because it's not always about you. Like they say, the customer's always right. You have to understand exactly what these people want and exactly what these people are willing to pay for if you're taking it from a business entrepreneurship mindset. If you're taking it from a fashion design aspect and a lot of your pieces are sentimental, then just make things that you feel like really coincide and resonate with your personal message that you're trying to convey. Just go crazy.
True. What about like team-wise?
As far as a team, what do you mean by a team?
Like, what do you feel like is the best infrastructure to make sure you're successful?
It takes a lot of, it depends on what your definition of success is. I equate success to happiness and comfortability. So if I'm comfortable, my life is convenient, I'm happy, then I would say that's success. But depending on your definition of success, a lot of people equate success with like financial freedom and financial literacy and wealth. If your goal is to achieve a lot of wealth, I would say that your finances got to be in line from A to Z, like I was saying earlier. So that just comes with how you make money, assets over liabilities, residual income, passive income, and learning the types of incomes that you're actually submerging yourself in, so you could expand from there.
All right, bet. All right. What do you think is the hardest thing that you went through starting, like at the ground level?
One of the hardest things was trying not to take the no's personally. I had a lot of friends that I would reach out to, and I would ask for their support. Like, hey, are you planning on buying something? Or I know that's kind of like a little bit aggressive when you ask somebody if they plan on buying something, but when you hear like no, or I haven't got paid yet, and then you see them spending their money on other things, because like social media connects you to everybody. Dealing with those no's and understanding why it was no was a little bit frustrating, like when I initially started. But I had to realize that if I wanted my brand to be successful, I had to create the demand and not try to chase it.
True. Create the demand and not try to chase it. That's a very good point. All right, so now what do you think is like the hardest thing that you have to deal with, like now that your brand is where it is?
Wow. The hardest thing about now, one of the hardest things about now is scaling the brand. Obviously, it's not just me anymore. Hiring and firing is probably one of the hardest things, because you can always hire your friends from back in the day, or you can hire the guy that knows what he's doing, but you just met him yesterday, but you don't really trust him. It's a lot of different factors that go into scaling a brand, and definitely the hiring process is really extensive. And there's a lot of what ifs and a whole bunch of questions that you won't really have the answers to until you go through that process.
So what are you most proud of?
To date, I'm really proud of two things. Early on, I was able to sell my brand, or sell my clothes, in all 50 states in the United States. I think that happened around 2018. And also in 2018, I launched my first official academic scholarship and creative grant in my school district, which I graduated in high school. So those are two things that I'll always be proud of, and I feel like are really important, because the brand started out of my trunk, and I feel like it's grown out of that ever since.